Robert Bobby Gatewood, a key figure in Houston's Chicano Squad, used his Mexican and white heritage to bridge cultural gaps and solve cases in the Latino community. His impactful work influenced both law enforcement and the community. In an exclusive interview, his daughter Stephanie Gatewood shares untold stories of his career and personal challenges.
From Pittsburgh to Magnolia, where justice is in sight, Chicano Squad's relentless, we'll win this righteous fight. Chicano Squad, we ride the line. Chicano Squad, the truth will fight.
My name is Karina Nistal. I'm here with Stephanie Gatewood, the daughter of Robert Martinez Gatewood, one of the original Chicano Squad members from the Houston Police Department Homicide Division. Thanks for being here with us, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
Your dad was one of the original Chicano Squad members.
Yes, he was.
What's his name and what does he mean to you?
His name is Robert Martinez Gatewood. Everybody's like, how was he in the Chicano Squad? Because, his last name is Gatewood. Well, his mother's Mexican and his father's white. But he grew up Latino.
Yes.
And eating beans and
In the
rice.
barrio.
Yep, Second Ward. Over there, Magnolia, went to Milby, graduated from Milby. So, he was a Latino. And he meant everything to me. He was the best dad. He was a great provider. We used to crack jokes on each other. We used to roast each other constantly. And he was the greatest protector.
I can tell you really miss him.
I do. I miss him a lot. He was gone way too soon, and I just did not have enough time with him, and I really miss him a lot. Yeah.
I understand.
He was a great man. He was a great man. A great man.
And he was a good provider.
He was.
He was always working.
He was always out. I hardly ever saw him because he was always out there working and
servicing the community.
Trying to, provide for our family. Even though, I'm going to be 45, he still felt like, I still need to do for her because he wasn't there.
Of course. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Okay.
Why was the work of the Chicano Squad important?
I feel like it was important because at that time in the 70s, 80s, we did not have representation. We had literally no Hispanic officers. That the Chicano Squad was formed, it helped with the community, a lot because they saw officers that looked just like them. Yes. And that language barrier was broken. I mean, it was a great thing. It was a great thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like you said, at that time, the 70s, early 80s, there was a lot of politicians or local politicians.
No.
So just seeing officers that,
right.
are brown people and spoke the language was very helpful to people in the barrio.
Yeah, and it helped them to be able to talk more freely. And it's just better having not to call a Caucasian officer,
right.
Because they would have to call a Spanish officer and it's
exactly.
Just
and they wouldn't have to worry so much about discrimination, right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us more about your dad's personality and character? How was he at home with you guys?
He was, like I said, he was just a jokester. Oh, God. Sometimes he would get on my nerves, like, in the mornings when I wake up and, because we all live together and, have my curly hair everywhere. And he would be like, go away, you're ugly. I'm like, but that was just him. But there's nothing in the world that he would not do for us. Me, my mom, and my son. And, he was just everything. He was just a great, great man. Despite what anybody else may think, have seen, or heard, we know.
Yes.
What he was.
Absolutely. Despite any opinions. And he was trying to keep you humble at home, right? By calling you ugly.
Yes. But I was like, well, you're ugly too.
So you guys would roast each other a lot.
Yeah, we did.
What happened to your dad during his time in the Chicano Squad? How did his career with the squad end?
My dad made mistakes, as, everybody does.
Right.
And his time concluded after over 20 years of being in homicide, or, being in the department. Um, he made mistakes, and he got let go. He got let go, and he had to serve a 24-year sentence, federal time.
Wow.
Federal, yeah.
And that is, from what I understand, that is day for day.
It is.
Yeah, it's not like they cut your time in half.
No.
Your
It's
dad
not
was
like state at all.
right.
Like where, you could serve, you have a 20-year sentence and you have to serve 10. No, they gave him 24. He served 24.
Did you get to see him during that time?
I did. We flew to Kentucky. We drove to Louisiana. We saw him as much as we could, but, those trips would be expensive. And,
Of course.
after he went away, we kind of lost everything, including family.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you have other family members in the force, right?
I did at the time. Yes, I do. I have a few that are still police officers,
Uh-huh.
but they kind of wanted to keep their distance after everything happened with my dad. So we lost family, we lost friends,
And your home.
we lost our home, we lost pretty much everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. There's been significant media attention
Yes.
on the Chicano Squad,
Yes.
including podcasts, documentaries, docuseries. What inaccuracies have you noticed in these depictions?
Well, first of all, some of the podcast or docuseries don't even include my father. How can you not include somebody that was one of the original members?
Right.
Yes, he made mistakes, but he also was one of the only ones to complete case files, and even got recognized for completing the most case files.
Wow.
And another podcast, somebody had called him Bobby Gatewood. Why are you calling him Bobby Gatewood? That was reserved for us, for family and close friends at the time. His name was Robert, or Sargeant
Yes.
Gatewood. So
Yes.
I feel like people need to put respect on his name.
Yes. Agreed. Wow. So how has this media attention and the legacy of the Chicano Squad affected you and your family personally?
Well, I feel like I said, that they don't include him in a lot of, things that are being talked about.
Right.
I don't understand. I mean, I know that he upset the department. I know what he did. He made mistakes, like I said, and
Right.
it wasn't right. But again, had he, well, let me put it this way: agents had came to talk to him, and
Yes.
he could have taken half that department down, because it wasn't only him.
Wow. So it wasn't like he worked alone.
Absolutely not. But he took the blunt end of everything, and they made an example of him and gave him 24 years.
To
So-
salvage the name, the
And-
Chicano Squad name.
Right. And just to, hey, I did this.
Yes.
I'm not going to bring anybody else down on me. But it ruined us.
Right.
It absolutely ruined our family. But, it's just the way it goes.
I know at the time the popularity of the squad was growing. They had such an impact, which we'll probably be discussing more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can imagine that him not wanting to tarnish the name for the department and the Chicano Squad was very important to him.
It was. But at the same time, it ruined our family.
Right.
It ruined everything.
Yes.
We lost everything. It was bad. It was really, really, really bad. And I was little when that happened, but I still remember the impact it had on us,
Of course.
because everything changed.
Yeah, you
everything
were a
changed.
child. How old were you at the
I
time?
was 12.
So you saw it all like unfolding
I did.
in front of your eyes.
I did.
Can you tell us what that was like?
It was a little bit traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you have federal agents coming in your house, raiding your house.
Wow.
Black vans parked in front of your home with monitors.
Wow.
Coming home from school, and I'm like, what's going on? And they try to hide stuff from me, but
You knew.
I knew. And,
Yes.
a little bit here and there. And I even went to his sentencing.
Oh my gosh.
And that was really bad because
Yeah.
my sister almost passed out from the 24 years sentence that he got.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean that's just an eternity.
Yeah, I felt like he was never going to get out,
Right.
but he did.
Did
But
you
he did.
know at the time when you were present during his sentencing, did the impact of 24 years hit you at that time or just
No,
actually living it
I
out?
did it. It didn't. I was like, I did. I guess because I was a child, I didn't quite understand.
Right.
But as I got older, I was like, okay, yeah, this is long. This is
Yes.
long,
Too long,
too
too
long.
excessive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The Chicano Squad grew like into a cultural phenomenon.
It did.
What would you like to see come out of the attention?
I think the Chicano Squad did some great things.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to take that away from them, but also my father's story needs to be told.
Yes.
He went from military to
Sergeant.
he was a sergeant in the military. He was
Yes.
a sergeant in the Houston Police Department. He
Wow.
went, and then he became a convict. So that within itself is a story. I mean, there's a lot of people who couldn't have done what he done and survive.
Absolutely. I mean,
Him being an officer in prison, I mean, they tried to burn a cell down.
oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Was that the first year that he
Oh,
was
yeah. They
there?
had to put him in solitary because they were trying to kill him. They were trying to kill him.
A lot of people wouldn't even think about his safety
No.
as a police officer in
Or
prison.
care,
Right.
for that matter. I mean, that's the way it is.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That gave me chills. um and I can just imagine, I mean, all of this attention, like you've seen it grow, you've
Yeah.
seen people use the name,
Yeah.
turn it into
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yes.
Just using the name for everything,
Well,
plastering it
that's
for
right.
everything.
But don't use my dad's name because I will sue you.
Right. I heard that. Okay. So what kind of legacy would you like the Chicano Squad to leave for your father and for your family?
I think I would just like them to include him
Okay.
because he was in the department a long time before,
Anything.
anything happened.
Yes.
And he did a lot of great
Right.
work with the other officers.
Yes.
So, I feel like they're trying to disgrace him, but it doesn't take away from the fact that he did what he did,
Right.
and I don't know, I don't think that there was another Chicano Squad member to box for HPD like he did. He was a boxer.
Wow. That's awesome.
He did it all
Yes.
over there.
Yes, that's incredible. And yeah, naturally, there's always a good and the bad, right?
Absolutely.
There's bad things that happen, and then there's really good. Your dad had so many accolades as sergeant,
He did.
and as being a championship boxer for HPD.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want the story, if they want the facts, they should definitely get the real facts talking
Absolutely.
to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you would be able to fill them in. Would you be open to being contacted by others interested in interviewing you for your dad's story?
I would, but they would have to come to me, correct? No, with
Okay.
no silliness, no disrespect.
Right.
Yeah, of course I would.
Okay,
Of course, sure.
that's good. This might sound reiterated, but how did the Chicano Squad impact the community they served?
I think they impacted them greatly
Yes.
because I feel like they were able to talk more freely about certain cases or things they may have seen,
Yes.
and they felt more comfortable talking to a Spanish-speaking officer
Right.
than they would anybody else.
Yes.
So I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yes, the Latino community was able to, speak to these officers
Mhm.
comfortably, safely, and not feel like they would have to, go and be a witness at the
Right.
department or,
Mhm.
at the station or whatnot.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it did help, and especially during that time.
Yes.
That was really important. How did your dad's work with the Chicano Squad influence your own life and views?
Um, I feel, well, as far, I'm very proud of him,
Of course.
despite of everything that happened,
Yes.
because he did do a lot in his lifetime. And him being part of the Chicano Squad is major,
Yes.
and, they did include him at the Houston HPD Museum.
Oh, that's right. So the Chicano Squad has their own
They
museum
do
now
now. They
that
do.
would be great for everyone to go
hmm
and visit.
I haven't visited yet because I'm not ready.
Right.
I'm not ready.
That's going to be
That's going to be a
really
little tough for me. Yeah.
emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough for me. But I think that they did great things.
Yeah, and that's incredible that they created this museum. I
hmm
mean, it was only a matter of time.
Right.
They did impact the community
hmm
and, the country so
hmm
much. It was only a matter of time, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, for
But I
sure.
love that they honored him,
Yeah, and I was happy for that. I was glad. I was
Yes.
like, thank God, finally, somebody
Yes.
recognized him as for the things that he did.
Of course.
But yeah.
We did see that. We did see that Sylvester Turner
hmm
had an opening video where he was presenting
Yeah.
the Chicano Squad. So that's incredible, and congratulations to you and your
Yes.
family
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you.
Um, are there any particular stories or cases from your dad's time in the Chicano Squad that stand out to you?
Not cases, because of course I was too little at the time. He would not discuss any kind of, those kind of
Right.
cases because they're all murder cases,
Of
and it
course.
would have freaked me out. But I know that he did work a lot. He was
Yes.
on call all the time, and he
And he boxed.
he boxed.
He had some
Yes,
boxing matches,
he had a
right?
lot of boxing matches.
Oh, okay. How many matches do you think he had?
I'm not certain, but I think he only lost one, maybe.
Oh my goodness. He
So
was really good.
And when the Houston Coliseum was here, he fought over there. He fought against the firefighters.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
the firefighters and the HPD going against each other.
Oh my gosh, they're always pinning him
I brought
against
that
each
with my
other.
memorabilia.
Oh, good. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. So, did you get to go and
I
watch
did.
him?
I think I was one of his last fights, and he ended up beating that person. So it kind of freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, my dad getting beat up over here. And no,
Aw.
it wasn't like that. It was the other way around.
Right.
But
You
it
were
was,
nervous?
I was, because I was, I was young. I was probably like 8, 9, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was major.
So he was really involved.
It was
Like,
very involved,
aside from
very involved.
just his work with the Chicano Squad and the division and
hmm
the department,
Yes,
he was boxing.
yes.
That's incredible.
hmm
This is our last question.
Okay.
What do you think is the most important lesson people can learn from the Chicano Squad's history and your dad's experiences?
Uh, that question, that's a little hard.
Take your time.
I think people judged too quick and too fast. People don't do the research, and they do, it's not always factual.
Right.
I think like I said, the Chicano Squad did great things. They did great work, and that was including my father. It was included in that. Um, his legacy is in that museum.
Yes.
And
it's in your home.
it's in my home. It's in my
Yes.
home. I have my dad there. He's with me there.
Absolutely.
When he passed on, I had him cremated, and he's there with me, along with his flag that he got from the military and everything with it. So, I mean, we have a lot of memorabilia of him. I have a lot of pictures of him, and I show my son, hey, this was your grandpa,
Yes. And I think just for someone that is a Latino, that was raised in the barrio,
Yes.
that was mixed.
Yes.
I'm sure he had his challenges
Mm-hmm.
during his upbringing, being a mixed, in those days, right?
hmm
Just being a mixed child, knowing the language the way he did, being a sergeant in the military, being a sergeant
hmm
for HPD, for the Chicano Squad. I think it shows that he was definitely a success story for the Latino community,
I believe so.
regardless of what happened.
Well, I mean, after he got out of prison, federal prison, he didn't stop. That his drive was so, it was,
Impressive.
I mean, his drive, he had a very strong drive to be able to succeed.
Yes.
Before he passed on, he was talking about writing a book about his life.
Wow.
So now that he can't speak, I'm speaking for him.
I love that. Do you think that you'll be able to write his book for him?
I don't know. I think I would. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've thought about it.
Right.
I thought about it. Maybe. That might be a maybe.
Yeah. And you can always do it from your perspective.
Right.
I think that would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Just your perspective as
As
the
a daughter.
daughter
Yeah.
of Robert Martinez Gatewood, one of the
Mhm.
original members of Chicano Squad,
Yes.
Houston Homicide Division.
Houston Homicide Division. Yes.
Thanks so much, Stephanie.
Thank
I
you for
really
having me.
enjoyed speaking with you.
I really appreciate you having me here and letting me tell my father's story.
Yes, and thanks to Houston Media Source.
Yes. Thank you, Houston Media Source.
We appreciate your time.
Yes, absolutely.
And that concludes our interview.